I'm waiting for you to leave. I can't do it with you in the room.
I was going to take my coat with you.
Hello and welcome to my channel, Champagne and Stitches. My name is Sarah and this is Floss Tube number 6. Welcome back. It's a lovely sunny day today, so we're going to try and film with the doors behind me open. Hopefully the traffic won't be too noisy, so I'm sorry if you can hear it. If it's really bad, we'll film again, but just thought it was nice to have some sunshine and some fresh air. So it's just a catch up of what I've been doing in the last couple of weeks. I don't have any finishes to share with you. I've got a couple of new starts and some whips, a tiny bit of haul, and then my plans. So we'll jump straight in with the first thing that I've actually made in the last couple of weeks is the top I'm wearing. So this is the Cocoa top by Tilly and the Buttons, and I bought this one as a kit from Guthrie and Garney. They release sewing kits on the first Wednesday of every month, and this one I bought quite a long time ago actually. It's taken me a while to make it, but I'm very pleased with it, so I thought I would wear it today. As for cross stitching, as I said, I've got no finishes, so I didn't work on the things I said I might work on last time round in order to finish them, but I did start 2 new cross stitches. So the first one is this one. So this is Caroline Manning, and it is Pomegranate Plum. So I've wanted to do Caroline Manning for a while. It's quite a small one, so I thought I would start with this one. And so far I've done the central square, so it's a block of 9. And I'll pop a photo up on the screen because I have the pattern in PDF, so I'll have to pop a photograph up. But this is currently at slightly over 10%, so I think I'm on 10.44%. I'm stitching it on an Ada. I don't actually know what count. I did try to find out, but I don't know where I've written it down, and I couldn't find a piece of paper. But this Ada is from Lakeside Linens, which is where I tend to buy, not Lakeside Linens, Lakeside Needlecraft. Because I hear lots of people talking about Lakeside Linens, which we can't get in the UK, so this is Lakeside Needlecraft. And as I say, I've started in the central block, and then it has 4 different blocks that repeat, I believe. So I think this one and this one are the same, these are the same, and then the corner ones are the same. So I'm really enjoying it actually. I went for Ada because it's full coverage, so I didn't need to worry about having spaces left in it, so I thought Ada's probably the easiest thing to stitch on. My needle minder for this one, which I thought went very well, came from the Purple Madness box, the January box from Black Needle Society, and I'm keeping it in this project bag as well, which was also in the Purple Madness box. So I felt that together they worked quite well, all the purples. So that is my Pomegranate Plum from Caroline Manning. It's a nice quick one to stitch. I'm just pop that on the floor. And then my second new start, obviously I talked about it a lot on Friday, so today is Sunday. On Friday, Lola Crow released the frame for her Extraordinary Bird Sal, which I've been looking forward to for a long time. So I have made a tiny start. I was stitching a few other things, so this is a tiny little start on that one. Just got the top of the frame in there. Again, I will pop up a picture of a photograph of what this is going to look like, the frame. So this is the top of it, and it's going to come down like that. So this is on an 18 count Ada by Coffee Craft Fabrics. She doesn't name her fabric. So this was in the last Super Sunday fabric drop, and I felt it went quite well. It was weird. I did look at getting the called for fabric, but it would have cost as much to have it shipped over as it would to buy the fabric. So it's obviously a cheaper option. And I also went for Ada because the called for was a 36 count, and at the time Megan wasn't dyeing 36 count even weaves. So again, Ada, 18 count Ada, it'll do the job. So really looking forward to that. And this is standing at a huge 1.85%. So we've got 6 weeks to stitch the frame before the next lot of releases, and they're weekly between May and August. And then I think there's a couple of weeks where you have sort of a catch-up week where nothing is released. It's about 6,000 and something stitches. So hopefully I will have that done in the next 6 weeks. So that is my very, very tiny start on the Extraordinary Bird Sal by Lola Crow. So I'll pop that one down there, and that one I am keeping. I've showed you this one before in this beautiful bag from Evertote, which I thought was perfect for the job. So they were my 2 new starts. I have 5 whips that I've been working on. The first one of those was my historical sampler company pot sampler, and this was one of my whip go calls last month. So this is where we are. Let's just see if I can. There we go. This is where I got to, and I had to do 1,000 stitches on it. So I had already stitched, I think up to that point I had stitched this motif, the pot and the 2 birds. So my 1,000 stitches was to do the flowers, which I think I might have done the last time I showed it to you, and I'd almost done one of these shelves, and I said that to make my 1,000 stitches I was just going to repeat that shelf on this side. I decided not to do that. So actually I started on this little motif here, and I definitely went over my 1,000 stitches, so that was okay. But I really enjoyed stitching this one. Haven't had it out for a long time, so it was quite good to get going on it. So this is being stitched on a 32 count linen using the called for DMCs, which I got from the Historical Sampler Company. So that is my pot sampler, which I hopefully will get some more stitching on that one quite soon. So that's that. And my other whip go call for March, wasn't it? So we're in April now, was Santa's House. So this one, I wanted to get the house complete, which I had done, but actually I've carried on because this one I've used this one again for this month's whip go calls, which I'll talk about later on. So I wanted to just keep going with that, get a bit of a jump on for the April call. So this is where I've got to with this one. So the last time you saw this, I had finished the house completely. So I've added in this bit, some of the snowflakes, some of the border, and started down here on the deer. And what I'm having to do is I need to be quite disciplined because I know me and I want to come down and stitch these bits because they're quite interesting, but that would just leave me with the border and snowflakes, sorry, there's a hair, and snowflakes to stitch, which are a bit trickier. So I'm making myself do a little bit around these bits, which are the bits I don't really want to stitch, and then come and do the deer. So hopefully if I work my way around this way, that will leave this deer for my final. And I hope to be finished with this so that I'm in time to start the next one, which I want to start in May. So a couple of weeks, hopefully, just to finish this. But that is my Santa's House by Cottage Garden Samplings, and I'm stitching this one on a 28 count even weave from Coffee Craft Fabrics again, using the called for threads, which are mainly DMCs, but there is a classic colour works for the red of the house and for the grey in the roof. So that's my third whip. My fourth whip is also from Cottage Garden Samplings, and this is the peacock one, which I've been stitching, the peacock pincushion. So I stitch on this one every week, so it's really coming on, and this is where I've got to. So excuse the thread. So as you can see on this one, I have carried on, and I'm now working on the feathers. So I've just got the feathers to do down to the bottom here, and then I will be finished. I work on this one when I'm working, so before I go into work every day. But obviously the school holidays are coming, the Easter holidays, so I am not working now for the next few weeks. So this one won't get any progress in the next couple of weeks, but I'm sure when it comes back out, when we go back to school, I'll be able to get on with that one. And at the moment, it's working that I'm sort of able to stitch one of the feathers pretty much every week. So a few more weeks and hopefully that one will be done. So that is my peacock pincushion by Cottage Garden Samplings. And this one again is a 28 count even weave from Coffee Craft Fabrics. So I bought it as a kit from her. So I got the fabric, the thread, which has DMC and 1 week's dye works in it, and the pattern, and there was a needle minder as well, which isn't on here at the moment. So that all came kitted from Coffee Craft Fabrics. That's my fourth whip. And then, no, that must be my third whip. So my fourth whip is this one, which you haven't seen for a while, I think since my whip parade. So this is my Schitt's Creek sampler. So for those of you who don't know, this is from a TV program called Schitt's Creek, which I love, so funny. And this is by Boomerang Stitches, who is Amity from the Hathaway Stitchers. And as I said in my whip parade, the minute she just showed this motif here and said to people to guess what it might be from, I knew automatically that it was from Schitt's Creek. So when I showed it to you before, I had this and the guitar, and so I've added the rose video in. And I love this one for just a really, really simple, straightforward stitch. So lots of fill-in, not very many colour changes, lots of straight lines, counting's quite easy on it. So this one I picked up after my next one that I'll show you, which we all know is a bit of a struggle for me. I picked this one up just to have some easy stitching. So that is my Schitt's Creek sampler, and there is a stitch along for this one, and it is, let me just have a look, it's I've told you thrice now stitch along. Let me say that again. I've told you thrice now stitch along. So if you know, you know. If you watch Schitt's Creek, that will make sense to you. So this one is on an even weave that I got from Lake House Needlecraft. I'm not sure again what count it is, using the called for DMCs. So that is my fourth whip. And then my final one, and the reason I got that one out was because I was frazzled, is this one, my Year at Hawk Run Hollow, which, as I said last week, I'm finding really tricky actually. So I have carried on with it. So this is where we are now. So let's just pop this on the table. It's probably a bit big to get in the whole thing. That might be about there. So I had done January, February, I was working on March, so I've now completed March, and so many mistakes in March, also so many mistakes in February. I mean, there was miscounting here, all his little doodads are in the wrong place. I think I just started putting these in wherever I felt that they looked okay, because as I say, counting was not my strong point while I was doing this. So then I thought, okay, so when I do the next block, which I started quite early in March, the April showers block, I haven't completed my outline yet, because I thought what I didn't want to do was I needed to make sure that my counting is correct, because here in the other blocks, counting is okay. If you go wrong, it doesn't matter. At least I don't think it matters, because you can fit things in. If I go wrong here in the house, I'm going to really struggle. So I thought I'll count really carefully. What I tend to do with my borders here is I just cross every 10th stitch, but I cross them according to the pattern. So if it's a 10 by 10 block on the pattern, I cross the stitch that comes in the corner, if that makes sense. So it will be the first stitch of that 10 by 10 block, which is why I don't always cross, you know, there might be three at the top, 3 stitches at the top before I cross it or something. But that just means I can count really easily off the pattern where I'm supposed to be. So far so good. The counting all seems to be working. I was really pleased with myself. And then I went to finish off the roof to realise that I've sewn the roof in completely the wrong colour. So it's brown, but it's not the brown I'm supposed to be using. This little tiny bit here just on the edge was supposed to be black with a much darker brown roof. So it was quite a stark contrast actually, because I've used a lighter brown. So what I actually did was I've taken out the black and popped in the brown that the roof is supposed to be here. So it's not quite so much of a contrast. And I'm just going to keep going at it. I really don't want to leave this till the last week of April. So I'm quite pleased with how far I've got so far. But the idea behind this one is just I want to finish it by the end of the year, keep up with these blocks. But so that is my, hopefully you can see it all there, that is my Hawk Run Hollow. So they were my whips for this week, and this actually takes me nicely into my only piece of haul for the video, because I'm keeping this one in my new project bag, which is this one, and I bought this from Penelope's Pocket, who is on Instagram and also has recently started a Floss Tube. So I think this is gorgeous. She showed this on her, I think she showed them on her Floss Tube, and then I went straight across to look on her Instagram to see if they were still available, and this one was. So it has this fabric and then this fabric on the inside that actually coordinates, I think is the word I'm struggling to find. I have a tassel on mine, and I also got to go with it, and it's already on my floss, this lovely little floss drop that actually matches the bees on here. So that one is beautiful, and the attention to detail was just lovely, because it came with this postcard and just with a card and this little bird and all sorts of things. And the best thing about this is that Sarah, who is Penelope's Pocket, on her Floss Tube, we've worked out that we lived fairly close to each other. And then when I ordered this, I got a message from her saying, whereabouts do you live? Because I'm just down the road from you. And she was literally, she lives just down the road from me. So she delivered this in person, which was lovely. And it was just like a friend coming around. If you watch her videos, you'll know it's like sitting down and having a cup of tea with an old friend. So when she came to the door, it was like I really knew her, which was a bit strange, but also rather lovely. So that is my only haul for the last couple of weeks. It's this absolutely glorious project bag that I've put Hawk Run Hollow in order to help me get over the trauma of stitching it, because I like getting this out, so I don't mind working on Hawk Run Hollow. So that was my haul. I'm still waiting for my Downton Abbey box. So that's from the Black Needle Society. And that retreat, that's an online retreat, and it's starting, I think, on Friday. So like I said, today's Sunday, so not long. My box is in France, apparently. It's been there. I don't know why it's in France, because the boxes from the Black Needle Society don't normally go through France. So I don't know if it's really there, but it has been sat there now since the 27th of March and hasn't moved. So I'm not sure at what point I start to panic. I know it's with someone else's box, because someone else has commented and said theirs has been in France since the 27th of March as well. But hopefully they will get a move on and will arrive next week. So my plans for the next couple of weeks. The Whip Go calls have been made for April, and as I said, Santa's house, I'm going to use Santa's house for one, because mine was, let me just have a look, number 4 was a series, so I've decided to carry on with Santa's house so that I can get that finished, so that I can start the next one, which is the castle, at the beginning of May, because I've planned out 4 of those to start this year, so every 3 months. So that will be to get the Santa's house finished was perfect. And then number 10 for me was Christmas. So I am going to start just a really quick little stitch, which is the Advent, from the Advent calendar from Historical Sampler Company from 2023. And that's the final one. There were 3 stitches in that one, in that Advent calendar. It's kitted up, so that will be the final one of those 3 stitches. And then obviously I can feel that I'm justified in buying the next Advent calendar for this year when it becomes available. So apart from those, obviously, I need to finish the April block of Hawk Run Hollow. I need to carry on with the Extraordinary Birds Sal, hopefully make a start on my Downton stitching for the Downton online retreat. But I'm not going to make too many plans, because it's the Easter holidays, so we're actually away for a week, going down to Devon, which is where I'm originally from. So going home to see my lovely mum, and I'm going to take some of my stitching with me. So I'm going to need some easier stitches so that I can see what I'm doing. So Hawk Run Hollow is definitely not coming with me. But I will probably take Santa's house down with me, because that will be quite an easy one for definite, and then I'll just decide what else I take. So I think that's about it. So I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. If you're a returning viewer, thank you. If you're new and you like what you see, please consider subscribing. I've said a lot today. But thank you very much, and I will see you soon. Bye.